Okay, let's start the presentation. So, good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to present about the Coca-Cola history and the story of the success. So, everyone knows Coca-Cola. It's a soft drink company. So, the first invention of the Coca-Cola is not for the soft drink. It's for medical purpose. And then the company was failed. The first founder failed, and then the second founder buy it and make it to the soft drink company and sell it to people, consumer, as consumer products. So in the early 900s, the Coca-Cola bottle was created with the caps on the surface to make it easy for consumer, easy to use. So it could keep in the refreshing, even though there was no refrigerator at that time. And those bottle Coke were available in the grocery and saloon store. So a little later, the bottle Coke was facing a problem because they were easy to imitate, like copy. But then they designed them into a glass plane. It was based on that glass plane was misinformation, but because it looked like a cacao seed, so it confused the customer, and then later they changed it to a slim, clean, nice bottle, and become known as the container we know as today. So now, in 2006, Coca-Cola Enterprise were ranked number 1 and number 2 on the Fortune 500 list of the best companies. Second, Coke has different flavors, such as vanilla Coke, cherry Coke, and Sprite. And third, Coke advertising campaign is the Coke side of life. Number 4, Coke has also come a long way from just their original formula. So Coca-Cola will have a place in markets everywhere.
For marketing, Coca-Cola spent a lot on advertising, so they were well known, and they sell to even more than 200 countries around the world, but they have a very strong branding. And they use distribution models. For example, you can buy them in 7-Eleven or Tesco Lotus, and this makes them sell more in different places. And they're the 4th most valuable company and one of the most recognizable company nowadays. And they sell about 1.8 billion bottles in a day, and the number is rising. And most of the time, you have Coke with something else in a package. Like when you go to the theater, you can have Coke with popcorn, or at McDonald's, you can have Coke with French fries. And Coca-Cola also use differentiate marketing method, or known as the mass marketing method. And this means they don't specific in one group of people, but they just sell to everyone. And for example, they have Diet Coke for people who want to be more healthy. And this is hard because nowadays there are many competitors, and if you don't specific on one, it would be even harder for you. And Coke also has many slogans such as taste the feeling, open the happiness, and much more. And all of them are simple for people to remember them easily. The expectation for Coca-Cola is low price, great taste, and convenience, so they need to keep this up. And they also keep changing the price over time, but not too much at a time, because if they change too much, people will change to buy something else, but if they don't, people will think they lower the quality, so they need to change. And let's move to the next topic.
And for the comparing species is come less than Coca acid. They come back and 12 years later. As you know, on the social media, Coca is more popular than Pepsi because on the Facebook page, Coca-Cola has followers with 105 million, but Pepsi has only 35 million that follow the page. And on the Twitter, Coca-Cola has 3.7 million that follow, but Pepsi has only 3.2 million that follow. And the reason why Coca more popular because Coca they start to advertise their products before the Pepsi and they invest on the advertising that Pepsi do. And especially is that Coca-Cola is spend a lot of money on advertising more than Pepsi. Like on 2014, Coca-Cola spent $3.5 million on advertising, but Pepsi just spent only 2.25 billion on advertising. And Coca-Cola is more connected with many companies like restaurants, cinemas, or stores, but Pepsi just connect with a few companies. And Coca-Cola they spend more advertising than Pepsi. And more is the Coca-Cola is use of free sugar, but Pepsi is use a real sugar. So for the people who diabetes, they can drink Pepsi than Coca. And Coca-Cola has a high calories than Pepsi. Coca-Cola has 160, but Pepsi has only 150.
To conclude, Coca-Cola spend a lot on their customers and on advertising, and they also have a very interesting history. And they have many things that are different from Pepsi and next group may tell you.
Thank you very much. Clap your hands for group one. Very good presentation. Thank you, folks. Okay, the next group is group number 3. Group number 3.
Okay, those using projectors, right, to make sure that you guys are going to be smooth, right? Please be on standby before that, so that you know.
Does anyone else have PowerPoint to project?
Yeah, and then
Group 2 and group 4. Do you, Mike?
just
Do you have?
that. Don't make so much.
No, they don't have. Only one group. This one.
Okay, perfect. Good. Let's go.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please clap your hands for group number 3. Okay, hello, my name is Mike.
Okay, I'm a first year student from CIBA. My name is Tai.
And my name is Chi.
Technical problem.
So we are going to present about Coca-Cola. Our first start with the history. As you see in the timeline, it began and first sold on May 8, 1886. Then 1887, the company registered the copyright. Then 1892, They set up the company under the Georgia Corporation. Then 1893, they registered trademark. And then March 12, 1894, Coca-Cola first sold in bottles. And 1909, it published its own magazine. In 1919, it created the first bottling plant, and the investors bought the Coca-Cola company for $25 million. 1933, the first automatic dispenser was created. And then 1982, the Diet Coke was first released. 1986, it was 100th anniversary. And then 2002, Vanilla Coke was released.
So let's move for my part. I'm gonna present about the SWOT of Coca-Cola. So first, as you know that Coca-Cola is the big brand globally. So there will be a lot of strength of Coca-Cola. First, it is the brand equity, which is rewarded by worldwide in 2011, and since then that Coca-Cola recognized as the highest brand equity. So for the Coca-Cola company, it costs $79.2 billion, which is very high amount. And we can see as that amount is Coca-Cola stand very stronger in the market. And Coca-Cola is the global, they are in the global market, which is more than 200. Their brand has been sold in 200 countries. And Coca-Cola, they target every age of people, which means that the market is very huge and they can sell to every age of people. So the revenue, the income that Coca-Cola generates from market is very high as well. So let's move to the weakness. There are a few weakness of Coca-Cola is the low product diversification, which means that compared to Pepsi, they have Pepsi that all have more than beverage industry. They have expanded themselves to snack industry by helping Lay and Coca-Cola. It's like a cracker that people can eat. And one more thing about Coca-Cola is absent in health beverage, which means that Coca-Cola is not really good for health because the ingredient have contain some fat, and also it also contains carbonate that really affect to the health. And so let's move to the opportunity. As I mentioned in the thread that Coca-Cola is a very strong brand in the market, so they can expand like Pepsi does. They go to the snack industry. Also, some developing country, they recognize Coca-Cola as a very well-known brand. That's it for opportunity, and the threat is only one as the big competitor of Coca-Cola is Pepsi. So even though Coca-Cola is way more than Pepsi, but they have to find a strategy to compete with Pepsi. Like they have to create some creative campaign to recognize their brand and make the consumer remember the brand. And that's it for sport.
And I'm going to mention about the logo, as it's also already told about their model. So about the logo, the designer wanted to create it to look more effective and dramatic. So and it developed their logo for 2 or 3 times and up until now, and they set up their trademark during the end of the 19th century. And about Coca-Cola, trade share is 48.6 in of market share in beverage drink, include Fanta, Sprite, and Pepsi. Share only 20.5 and other beverage. And Coke have a main market in the world because they have a good cooperative with other restaurants such as McDonald's or Domino Pizza, and they play a more important role than Pepsi, I think. And then that's it for my part.
Would you want to continue for the program? Let the high schooler talk about it.
So we now bring as it is a very big company. They also face many problems, but we bring up only 2 problems because there are a lot of it. So the first problem I'm gonna bring it up is the consumer wants the Coke to be delivered to their house, but as the problems, it cannot be transported easily, so its incomes decreases. And then another problem, as the Coke is also carbonated and there are a lot of sugar there, more people wants to become healthier. So the Coke released the Diet Coke to handle this problem. Thank you.
That is for our presentation.
Thank you very much. Group number 3, up your hands for the demo. Before you go, which group is that? Okay, the next one is group number 2. Clap your hands for group number 2. Alright, station is 2. Okay.
So, I'm from CIBA and currently I'm in 3rd year and my name is Tia.
My name is Spring and I'm 4th year student.
Yeah, so basically all of you guys better know about Pepsi, Cola, basically close to direct competitor in the South Asian market. Maybe some of you might know the slogan. This slogan is called Delicious, Refreshing Pepsi. Well, let's talk about the Pepsi. First, the manufacturer called PepsiCo. It was developed in 1893, which is found by Caleb Bradham. And the CEO during that time was Donald M. Campbell, and the current one nowadays is Indra Louis. And PepsiCo was later on merged with Frito and a Lay company, which is a food industry which is a food chip and snack industry. And during the 1945, PepsiCo has expanded worldwide, around the world. And also in 1970, the PepsiCo was moved to New York as its new world headquarters in NY. And next is during the 1974, Pepsi became the first American consumer product to be produced worldwide. I mean, American.
Okay, during years 1929 to 1931, Pepsi went bankrupt because of liquidations, and then it was bankrupt again in 1936, which is Pepsi trademark were picked up by Charles Gold. Then year 2009, they have strategic alliance with Calbee, and then during 2011, they have strategic alliance with TP Holding and Advanced Marvel in Brazil. Then 2014, Pepsi introduced Pepsi Spice, which is an innovative fountain that allow the customer create more than 1,000 customized drinks with the touch of button. Okay, finish. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, group number 2. Clap your hands for group number 2. Okay, the last group, I don't need to pick the paper, group number 4. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, clap your hand for the last two guys, group number 4.
I'm Folk. And I'm Carl. Okay, so today we will be talking about Pepsi. So first off, we will start with the history. Pepsi was originally created in 1893 by Caleb Bradham, a chemist, but it was first introduced as Brad Drinks, not Pepsi. In order for this company to go further with a broader audience, he decided to change the name of the company to Pepsi Cola on August 1898. This is to identify with two important ingredients in the drink, mainly pepsin and cola nuts. In the year of 1931, the company went bankrupt due to the effect of the World War I. Luckily, Charles Scott and Roy C. McGraw purchased the company. But unfortunately, McGraw was unsuccessful, which led Charles Scott to purchase the whole company. In 1970, Pepsi is the first company to respond to the consumer preference with lightweight, recyclable plastic bottles and introduced industry's first 2-liter bottle, which made them the market leader of that time. Through time, Pepsi changed and evolved, and which made them one of the most successful companies in this world.
Alright, so I'll be talking a little bit about the market share and the brief history of why it is Pepsi is what it is today. So any one of you here know that the 2 liters bottle in the colas these days are actually first developed by Pepsi. It was not developed or introduced by Coca-Cola actually, because around the 1960s, there's a big leap of merchandisers coming up. For example, Kmart, Walmart, and Home Depot and all those stuff. And those stores or supermarket don't really want to carry bottles because, as you know, bottle breaks and it's heavy and it's there's a lot of storage and other stuff to transport out and in. So one day the guy who worked as the vice president of Pepsi introduced a plastic bottle. It was a game changer for Pepsi, and you have to keep in mind that at that time Pepsi was a regional brand in just the US, Mostly it's so which means it is already far behind Coca-Cola, Coke, and also it doesn't have the government ties and all that and all these brandings behind them, but they have their creative ways of introducing themselves to the market. The second story happened during the 1970s. It's called the Pepsi Challenge. I can't speak there. In some areas of the United States, Pepsi was outsold 9-1 to Coca-Cola, which means it's relatively unknown, or some places it's even it's not available in the supermarket as well. So, but they did this research, which means they do a blind test. Some people actually never drink Pepsi before, but they prefer Pepsi over Coca-Cola. But because of the market and stuff like that, they drink Coca-Cola for breakfast. Yeah, and then they do the blind test. They put that on the commercial advertisement, and then everything changed because before the bottler, which is like the company itself is based in one country and in one state, and it depends on its distributions on how far they can drop and pick up the actual product. So yeah, after that, Coca-Cola was very aggravated. They are scared of, because this is what the mindset they are coming from Pepsi. I mean, they are hungry and they adapt and they try every possible way to market the product. And now Coca-Cola and Pepsi almost work hand in hand in the global market share. And also due to its aggressive marketing and expenditure, they now, I think, Coke has around 42% of the market share, and a little bit behind is Pepsi. So we can learn a little bit from this story that the capital doesn't really mean anything when you are starting up. The creativity is what gives you ahead. Yep, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Group number 4, please clap your hands for them. Alright guys, before we finish this part, I would like